Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, my friends. Your son wants to play softball with you tonight? Tell him to give you an hour. You're going to hang out with two average Joes with your host from Lake Havasu, Arizona, Tony P., and from Long Beach, California, Joe Kelly. And without further ado, and I haven't had a beard at all, two average Joes. There we go.
Well, thank you, my friend. Yes, have the boy practice some swinging for a little bit.
That's right. Hey, that rope down in the basement with a knot in it, hit it 500 times for me. We'll talk soon.
All right. I want to hear the bell ring at the top.
Exactly. Hey, on that note, just looking at the score, I think that I'm doing really well today. Everybody's wearing number 42. Today is Jackie Robinson Day, and everybody, including the umpires and all the coaches, are wearing number 42. And
no kidding.
Yep,
what an honor.
It's officially Jackie Robinson Day, and the Braves are winning 6-3 against the Marlins. Hey, 11-7. That'll be 12-7. We're up at two right now. So I'm pretty
Who they playing?
Playing with the Marlins. Marlins are doing well this year.
Hey, my friend, I don't see your face yet. I see your logo.
Sorry, it was much better looking than my face there. So.
You're way better looking in person.
Sorry about that.
I just wanted to start off real quick, and for the couple of listeners that we have, and the few that have shared and everything, of course, thank you. We say it every show. We try to remind everyone, leave a comment, any suggestions, any topics. You don't agree with us, you want to come on the show, and we'd love to hear everybody's viewpoint. It's just opinions. What do they say, Joe? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Everybody's got one, brother.
But that doesn't make you an asshole. Your opinion doesn't make you an asshole. Your action towards that opinion can make you an asshole, I believe. Anyway,
well,
so
I just think everyone should have the right to their opinion, and I think that bipartisanship is lost. I don't care if you disagree with me. Let's just not fight about it. No ad hominem. Let's just argue. I mean, that's a good one, right?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, and even theoretically, let's say you had a discussion with someone of originally different viewpoints, and you hash this thing out, right, where you become friends and you start to agree on more things together. But that's that's one in like millions, and there's just too much separation. But anyway, I don't want to get on that. I just want to say that, hey, if we ever say anything that offends anyone, you don't agree, and let us know. Well, I'd love to hear a different viewpoint. We're pretty open-minded, aren't we, Joe?
Hey, I changed I wrote a 26-page paper in college, and I changed my view midway during the paper. I was arguing for further space exploration. After doing all the research and spending 2 months on it, I voted against space exploration. We can send some robots out there, have a good time. We don't need to go out there and shred the atoms from our body with radiation. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, and isn't that the fact? You could literally just those things, but they don't even have to wear a suit.
Well, the radiation's so bad around Jupiter. People say, "Oh, Europa, there's ice there." It's like, well, you can't get there because there's so much radiation. It would shred, and no matter what you were shrouded in, it would shred you. It's just.
But wouldn't that even radiation still affect an AI type of robot of such?
That's a good question.
It seems like that could mess with electronics, but anyway, I do have something I want to bring up because it's literally been on my note sheet for the last 3 shows.
Okay.
And I know we're about the same age. I don't know, what year were your folks born?
My folks, I think my dad was born in the 30s. Sometimes that makes about sense.
Yeah. Both my folks were born in 33, and I know you're a music lover, right?
Oh yeah.
So this is called this is the birth record with quotes around it, like a play on words. If you were born in 33, then when you were 45, then you would be 45 years old in 78. 33, 45, 78. Remember the old albums?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, but I'm bumped.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Yeah. So anyway, I can see why I waited 3 weeks now.
Yeah, but see, you'd actually be.
Doesn't sound so impressive, but I did the math on it, and it was right.
You'd have to be born in. Let me see. It would be in March, so 33 and a third. That would be
Right.
the more
Yeah.
accurate.
Oh, hold on. I got a calendar chart I'm going to pull up. Um, so listen, I got a lot of topics, a lot of great ones. I want to get your view on a couple
Yeah,
things. You
please.
mind if I just storm into a couple of them?
Rock and roll, my friend.
Um,
Rock and roll.
Shit, you want to start off with something? You want to just hit it right off the bat with something?
Hit me in the between the eyes.
Okay, so we're having situations now where assault charges or rape charges are being brought up apparently from people that they're consensually with the person, but they've had too many drinks, right? Both people had too many drinks, and it wasn't necessarily of a consent or not consent situation. So I'm not talking about physically being aggressive with someone. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about the term rape. I'm just saying that this is somewhat starting to be considered rape. That that she was intoxicated, so therefore couldn't make the correct decision type of situation, right? And apparently you're supposed to be aware of that while you're drunk. So again, I'm not condoning any kind of abuse towards women. I don't want to, I don't want to get, you don't have to blow up the comment section yet. I'm just talking about a situation where, you're going out, maybe you've been dating a few times and you both over drink. Now I'm only saying that because Joe, I mean, it happens, right? I mean, I know it happens.
Some of the best times I never remember.
It happens.
It
It doesn't make you a
happens.
bad person.
No, no, it
I'm not saying anything
happens.
bad about it, but I'm saying, doesn't the accountability start during the drinking process then? You have to protect yourself.
Yeah,
I
but
see these girls now have these necklaces, and it's a necklace with a little round like medallion, right? But if you touch it, it sends off a locator to whoever you designated to go to, friends or whatever.
right.
And I think one of them even has like a tiny camera in it. But like
Oh,
if the girl's ever on a date, right, and it starts to get awkward, that kind of thing I'm not talking about. But in this situation, the guy's getting awkward or he's aggressive or he says something inappropriate. She just casually just taps that necklace. Isn't that ingenious?
yeah, but at the same time, it's you got to know what you're getting into. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
there's there was this girl that was in our martial arts class, and this was back in the 80s, and she had she wanted to get a male roommate. And or a new roommate, we said, get a male. You're better off if you get opposite sex, and you won't have any problems. And this is before the days of you know, online and stuff like this. So she put an ad in the
Right.
Penny Saver for a roommate, and she went
Penny
down.
saver.
She went down
Awesome.
and got applications at the stationery store, and filled them out
Right,
everything. And
right.
she told us, I got this
Well,
roommate.
you did it.
He's so mellow. He's a good guy. Well, this girl was a red belt with a black stripe. That means she was a hair away from being a black belt. Little
Right.
tiny girl. And she said, I came home. Well, we asked her, it's like she had a fat lip. But what happened? She goes, well, I came home last night and my roommate was drunk. I'm like, what? She goes, he told me he didn't drink. I came home, he's drunk and he was aggressive and angry and he started pushing me around. And I said, you got to get the fuck out of here. And he slapped me in the face and I went off on him and I just beat the
Right.
crap out of him. And he's the one that's grabbing the phone, calling the police, trying to get rescued. And I'm taking
Right.
the TV and tossing the TV on and beating the crap out of this guy. Well, the police came, arrested him, laughing their ass off the whole time at this tiny little girl. She was a pistol, man. She'd tear you up. But I mean, I felt bad. I
Good
mean,
for her.
we all suggested she get a male roommate, and he ended up giving her some knocks, man. You never know
Yeah.
about people.
No. Well, it's risky. It's risky. So anyway, that was my take. I just thought, if you want complete control over yourself, then you'd have to take complete responsibility for it.
I just think you can't.
But
It's hard to hold a man accountable for all that. I mean, I've been right in the act, and someone said no, I can't, and I had to stop, pull away, and everything. You just have to have control. But it's no matter how, then go take a cold shower. But it's like that those things are going to happen. You can't say, well, I want this. I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. I
right.
mean, it's consent,
Well,
you know.
and that's why I think it's important that there's some kind of legal precedent set, because eventually, you know what's going to happen. It's going to flip flop, and there'll be guys coming forward saying, anything just for money. Oh, hey, she took advantage of me. I mean, it's technically a claim. I mean, what if you were like, 5'7" or something, and you went out with this girl, she's like 6'1", and or like in your kid, the girl's a black belt, right? You don't know,
Right. Yeah.
and she gets, you guys get wasted or whatever. It happens. It happens a lot, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't make a person bad, but one thing happens sometimes when it does happen. Someone ends up having a kid, and then that can change the dynamics. So, segueing into a parent topic.
Okay, nice segue there.
What's your
Tony.
take on? And I know you obviously raised children, and now your children are going to be raising children, and your wife has children, and you guys all have a family. They're going to have a family.
Yes.
You see the dynamics of how everyone's with their children so far. What's your take on the helicopter parent technique, over involvement? Because some studies say that the child is less apt later in life to be able to solve his own shit,
right,
if he hasn't been put up against some situations that use those skills and sharpen the tool belt, right?
Right. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with. I'm a big believer that our generation, we're better apt to solving problems because our parents said, go out and figure out something, entertain yourself. And we had to entertain ourselves. We had to make guns. We had to do imaginary stuff. We played hide and go seek. We played kick the can. We did all these wonderful things and then we took a lot of chances. And we got a bloody nose. Don't tell your dad. Don't, we get mad because we did this. So we had to, learn in the school of hard knocks. And so I think that too many, I see kids, parents going immediately and grabbing the Purell and cleaning their hands. I'm like, dude, we used to drink out of the same hose in somebody's backyard that we wiped the mud off of. It's like you're taking. Right. It's like you guys are being all careful about everything. It's like
it wasn't all rolled up like off the ground.
It was like somebody spray it off real quick. Hey, the dog pissed on this. I think we'll just clean it off. It'll be fine. But I think that's our problem is that kids aren't allowed to make their own decisions and take chances. And then my dad used to say, no, go do it. Make a mistake. Just don't make the same mistake twice. Make lots of mistakes because that's how you learn. So no problem with that. But I just see it's like, oh, little Tommy, it's like you're making a little wimp out of the kid. He's not going to be able to take care of himself. And I mean, he's going to get a participation trophy, though. You'll be glad about that.
Well, it's like anything that is detrimental. I'm not saying like bullying or something like that, but just the dynamics of being in a social setting. When you're in school, there's people that like you, there's people that don't like you, and that's going to happen in life. And it gets back to everyone's a winner, everyone gets a trophy thing. You have to understand loss to understand winning. If you've only won or tied for like 3-4 years, then you start getting into more advanced sports. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with winning and losing at T-ball because the process begins, you learn.
Well, the thing is that what I told my kids, I said, you have to understand what losing feels like, or you'll never appreciate winning. And it's like somebody says, well, I want my team to win all the time. Well, I don't, because it gets mundane and boring. I'd rather, the best games that I've ever gone to see, and I remember going to see the Braves losing by two runs and hitting a walk-off home run at the bottom of the ninth to win it, by a run. That is how I want to see it done. Because if it's a walk in the park, my wife and I are leaving in the seventh inning stretch. I don't even want to stay any longer, if that long. So
it's the seventh inning stroll out of the stadium.
It's like, well, yeah,
a little bit more in a stretch.
It's right. We're out of here. See ya.
Pakistan.
Okay.
This woman was raped, and the punishment for the guilty party, the gentleman, not gentleman, but the guy, the judge ordered that his sister be raped by members of the original girl's family.
That makes no sense whatsoever. That makes no sense. So two wrongs make a right.
About taking eye for an eye to a new level, right? What the fuck?
Well, no, if it's going to be an eye for an eye, then that man has got to rape that guy's sister or something. You know, the man that well, I guess the husband of I just don't see. You can't answer aggression with aggression. It doesn't work that way. I mean, all it does is escalate on both sides. It makes more animosity. I mean, I don't. If my daughter got raped, I'd probably go to jail. I mean, because I know God would forgive me while I'm sitting in jail for beating the crap out of somebody or killing them, but
Right.
I don't know if I could handle that. And it's like, well, we're going to let somebody rape this. No, 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 no. You let me kill this person, and then we'll be okay. I mean, I'm sorry, but I just don't take too kindly to those kinds of things. And so,
And I was just going to make a comment about, like when in the Bible did it sort of switch, because the whole eye for an eye is, obviously pre Jesus, um, but theoretically it's still the same book, so information still, I don't think it necessarily keeps changing in the Bible.
well, there's a point in the Old Testament where through the prophet Jeremiah, God says, and it was Jeremiah 31:31, and a new covenant I give to you, and not the same one that I gave your grandfathers when I walked their hands out of Egypt, but a new one where my law will be written on your heart. And it will be operate through love. So it was a new covenant that was created. It never changed. In fact, Jesus said, "Look, the days of old say that you shouldn't rape somebody." Well, I'm telling you, if you look at a woman with lust in your eyes, you already raped her. You already did the deed. So it's like if you look at somebody with hatred in your eyes, you already killed him. What's the difference? That, as you just saying, he goes, once you've committed the sin in your heart, it's done
Right.
deal. So I think that's what he was trying to say there. So it's not really it was a new covenant. It was something much more because he didn't want people to be legalistic. I don't want you to be religious. Catholics are religious. They follow certain stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. They got all those little procedures they go through. But he said, look,
Right.
I don't want ritual. It's like sacrifices I don't want. I want your heart. And so he was just trying to make a new deal with them. It's like, look, this is the way it's got to be. You got to love everybody, and that's just the way it is. So I don't think they changed so much as it was. I think that the Old Testament they made a lot of concessions, and the concessions that were made by the people, because God said, "Hey, marriage is an institution that should be forever." But then Moses said, "Look, okay, look, we're having some problems here. You can divorce your wife if she's bad and she has sex with somebody else." It got so bad by the time the New Testament came around. If your wife burned your toast, you could divorce her for that. So a woman couldn't
Well,
do
I
that.
mean, breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, you screwed up there, babe. I'm sorry. You had your chance.
Uh,
Simple eggs and bacon would have been nice. So Pakistan, I don't agree with that. I think that's stupid law.
yeah, sort of wild, eh?
I think they've been smoking too much Midnight Express. Is what's had happened over there. So,
Um, so a car obviously could be considered a weapon,
oh
right?
yeah,
So video, I think it was in L.A. Girl, I think it was a girl driving the car, tiny car, smaller than a Corolla, and she's surrounded by people protesting the Iranian war, and but I mean she's circled, right? And then one of them is like standing in front of the car, and then they're all starting to beat on the car, and it's like, shit, what do you do, right? So she takes off, and the girl tries to jump on the hood, and she falls off. She runs over her twice. She runs over her legs twice, and that's how you knew the car wasn't very big, because the person got right up afterward. But the point is hell yeah. I mean, what are your options? I mean, your life is in danger. You got 15 people. You don't know whether they're just gonna try to scare you, or if all of a sudden someone penetrates one of the windows, and now what, like your daughter. What if it's your daughter, right? She's by herself. What she has zero options other than get the fuck out of there.
I agree. Last year, February here in LA, there were a lot of pro protests, and I was not. In fact, if you look at, I drove Uber for about 6 months last year, and I didn't drive at all in February. It's like I'm not going on the road. Why? So somebody throws crap at me, or gets mad at me, or I get stuck in traffic and they beat the crap, tear my stuff off because I happen to be in the middle of it. And I got pepper spray for those people. I really do, because I'm an old person who's disabled, and I'm in fear of my life, and I will defend myself. But at the same time, it's tough I mean, you'd have to see some footage of those people on her car for her to maybe get away with the fact that she ran over them. But I'm agreeing with her 100%. Run over those
Oh, it's
bastards.
on video. That's how I saw it.
Well, then
And they're surrounding the car, and it's like it's a threatening situation. There was at least 10, maybe 14 of them.
and they're probably thinking, I can't believe she ran over me. I can't believe you're stupid enough to jump on a moving car, idiot. I mean, come
Right.
on.
And why just block a random car? I mean, it's not like the girl was like waving the American flag or had a fucking MAGA hat on or something like that, right? She's just fucking trying to get home from work.
Because she's the least threatening person in the scenario. Probably you've got all these guys that are driving these fast and furious cars that are small, about the same thing. Those
Right.
people will get out of the car and eat you alive, but this poor little girl, she can't defend herself, so let's pick on the girl because she can't do anything back.
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of girl that pulls out a revolver and shoots you, you know.
And quite frankly, even if it was a guy, it doesn't matter.
It's
You're
wrong.
still way fucking outnumbered. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're Bruce Lee, it's going to go poorly.
Yeah, I don't. That's a tough one, man. That's why I choose not to go around any of that stuff that's happening. You know, it's they've had some in Long Beach before. It's like I don't want to go down and see all that stuff. It's ridiculous.
Remember the guy in the riots, the Rodney King riots, the guy that was driving he was just driving the semi truck. He was just delivering shit.
Yeah,
Richard Denny or something like
that.
that.
Reginald Denny. Reginald
Denny, yeah. And they dragged him out and hit him in the head with a brick, and it's like the guy's working. He's not He's not like yelling shit out the window.
Right, right.
Well, not that it would still make it right, but I mean,
well, look at all the people that said, look, I mean, when that whole thing started with those riots, most of the looting was just guys, hey, nobody's guarding stuff. Let's go steal some shit. You know, that's probably how a lot of it happened. I mean, I know a lot of people that told me, I mean, around that time, it's like, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff from some stores. Nobody was protecting anything. We just went in there and helped ourselves. That's how I got all my equipment from my band. It's like we got it all from the music store. Yeah, it's pretty sad, but
that's crazy.
Well, I'm a firm believer in civil obedience, and that's hard one to you have to have that. You have to decide that you're going to follow a set of rules and not break it down. That's important, or society just falls apart. I mean, it does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody has a problem with people.
Maybe you froze up on me, Tony.
Protesting.
There you go.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, you just froze up on me. You don't have
and
a problem.
If it's done in big numbers, then it can have more impact. So, are we back? We cut off for a second.
I got you now. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just what are you going to do? So it's the old saints. It's a few bad apples. I don't think it's the majority of people protesting.
No.
Just where shit goes down, that's where the cameras are.
Yep. Yeah.
But it just puts a bad taste, because otherwise it actually makes it bad for the people that are there for the cause. You know what I mean? Not just to fuck people up. People who really want to make a change, and all of a sudden now their whole point is discredited by violence.
Right. I agree with you.
Anti-productive.
I agree with you.
Well, I don't always want to be right. Find what I'm wrong on. Hold on. Let me see what would I be wrong on. Oh, I don't think I'll be wrong on this, but let's test it.
Okay.
So Hillary Clinton was doing an interview, and they asked her the question: Is the president is a president that's having relationships with a 22-year-old considered abuse of power? And obviously, they were the scenario they were painting. Obviously,
yeah.
And her answer is no. And then she, probably went on to say why or whatever. But it's like, you know what? I think pretty much if you're the general manager at Chili's and you're fucking Susie the waitress, that's abuse of power.
I agree 100%.
Could certainly be a large argument for it.
Well, I completely agree with that, because there's, I mean, position is an aphrodisiac, even if it's a small position like that. I mean, we've both been general managers of Black Angus, and I saw some. I mean, I had opportunities. I messed up a couple of times, but it's there for you if you want it. But you just have to be smart enough not to take it, because it can get you in a lot of trouble. But
Yeah, not too bad. I unfortunately wasn't. But remember, they would just move you. They would just
yeah,
move one person.
yeah.
You know, it wasn't. I bet now. I don't know if I bet it's probably taken more strictly nowadays.
I think
I'd
there's
have to
probably
ask somebody.
terminated. They're probably terminated. You know,
Right.
it's. I mean, I mean, even there was a situation. There was a cocktail waitress in Riverside, and Sandy. Remember Sandy? The manager Sandy Reitman or something like that. She.
Oh
Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The blonde hair girl looked like the
yeah,
Dutch, the
exactly,
person on the can of paint. Yeah.
exactly. Well, one of her assistant managers had sex with one of the cocktail waitresses, and they fired her and they transferred him. I mean, just boom like that, boom. And I'm thinking, but he didn't rape her and she didn't rape him. It was consenting, you know. I don't know.
Right.
Just I think that's a little bit wrong.
We, you might even remember when you were in San Diego. Did you work in San Diego at all?
No, farthest I
Oh,
worked
then you
was
wouldn't know
Riverside.
him.
I
There was a DM back in the late '80s, maybe early '90s. His name was Roberts. Tall, thin guy, red hair. You know, and anyway, he got fired because he was with a cocktail waitress in one of the booths in the BQ on the Christmas party. Right, smart.
well, I
Didn't
don't.
even leave the restaurant.
Before you got to Lake Forest, they had a party, and all the employees and the managers showed up at the party, and there was a couple of cocktail waitresses that were involved in it, and I'm not going to say his name, but there was a gay disc jockey that was involved in it too. Well, this manager was having sex with this one girl, and this other waitress straddled his face, and the girl moved her mouth off of his Johnson, and the gay disc jockey finished it off.
Oh
And when he was done,
no!
he moved and she went back down, so he never knew what happened. And when I saw the film, my
Very
comment was,
fortunate.
well, my comment was, well, if you had an orgasm, is it still good, even though if it was a guy? It's like, how can you complain? It was satisfying, and they're all looking at me like I'm
Right.
crazy. I'm like, well, it wasn't me that it happened to, but I mean that happened. He got fired.
Well, and everybody has such a different technique. I would imagine that, like as a guy, do you think for those moments you would even tell that it's different or no?
Well, I would. I mean, it's like I
It
would.
seems like it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
guess it all depends.
Hey, it
But
got
I don't
better.
think that's going
It,
to
it
happen at home.
it got better. Hey, that must be a gay guy down there.
Uh, so we're gonna, I want to we're gonna combine the two topics. We've talked about parenting and we've talked about people taking responsibility for their actions, right?
Okay.
Um, so there's this young girl. Maybe she was late teens, early 20s, and she died. She had some reaction, but for quite some time, she was known to be drinking about, 5 or 6 of those energy drinks a day.
Oh, okay.
And as we, I don't want to speak for you, but as I know, one's too many. But anyway, somehow it fucked with her heart and her system, and she died. And so now they are suing the maker of the product, or suing the business, even though there's warnings on the can, right? I mean, these companies, they got fucking legal paragraph on the bottom of everything.
Right.
Again, if if you show your kid drinking 6 of those fucking things a day, I mean, first of all, if even one, but and I know when they're grown up, they drink them and stuff, but I mean, but as a parent of someone that's that young, that's still a minor, that's your fucking fault.
Yeah. I wouldn't let it happen. I mean, there's things you're not going to be able to do while you're in my house. You know, it just
Right.
can't.
How can you possibly look in the mirror and try to shuffle that off on someone else?
Yeah, even after my children were old enough, I wouldn't go buy them alcohol. You go buy it yourself. I'm not gonna to help you with your demise. I won't do that. I'm not buying you booze. It's like, I'm an alcoholic. I'm not buying you alcohol. It's not going to happen.
This is a Harvard study, if I'm not mistaken, and I probably am, but we'll go with it. This is a Harvard study that people that have, the exotic hair colors, the green, the pink, the blue, and stuff, that they have found that in many cases there's a higher percentage that suffer from underlying depression.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's a lot more accepted now. I remember when we were running restaurants back these, and it was said in the interview, you have to have natural colored hair, right?
Right.
Remember, servers would have to wear the tattoo sleeves. Remember, you'd have to
Right.
cover your arm,
Right.
and they don't do that anymore.
Now, I mean, when my daughter first started doing ortho technician, they made her this 7 years ago. They made her wear sleeves. She had to wear long sleeves, and now it's so accepted. Though, no, it's not a big deal. As long as it's nothing gaudy or like sexual or cuss words or something, they don't mind.
Right. So,
change,
but I mean, again, it's just your opinion. I'm not. I know you haven't studied this. You probably never even thought about it. But do you think there's underlining things when people want to be that different?
Yeah, I do. It's a cry for a change of who they are. I mean, and so doing something radical. I've seen when you see somebody who's moved from I mean, I've seen it a lot in LA. They're brand new, moving from the Midwest, obviously a Twinkie, and it's like, and they're brand new and scared and afraid, but it's like, now you're a she, her, because you're in LA and it's acceptable, but you needed a radical change. And so you did this crazy change with the pink hair and the big gauges and all that stuff. I think it's a serious cry, a serious cry. So I don't think it's necessary, but I see it all the time, especially in LA. People, I mean, you see these guys that are 300 pounds with a big gut and a beard, and he's got pink hair, and he's got a Gucci purse in his hand. Like, I'm supposed to be convinced that you definitely are female inside. I just don't. Something is definitely wrong, and you're screaming for attention. That's what I see. I mean, there's a big Samoan guy who gets angry and verbal with people about that kind of idea, and I'm like, dude, something's definitely broken in your past to be able to treat people like this. Can't you just let bygones be bygones? But no, he wants to make that person miserable because he's miserable.
Right.
Yeah, sad but true.
But in regard to just the hair color part, couldn't the argument be said that, well, what's the difference? What's the difference that some people are born with red hair, and if I have brown hair and I want to have red hair, that's acceptable. So now you'd have to break down the whole color chart, right?
Well, there's
obviously,
I don't think it's always that way. I mean, there's a girl that I know who's a lawyer, and she's got nice dark hair, and she does one little bit of it, either orange or pink or yellow or green, and she'll tuck it in the back when she's working. But that's her kind of her defiance, if you will. But I just like the colors. Like, if I could do my whole hair, that would, but I can't. So I do one strand. I just tuck it in when I'm working, if I'm in court or something.
Yeah, and I guess it's even hypocritical to say that I know some people that have that, the one streak, and I don't think anything of it. So now it gets to the point, okay, well, how much is too much? Like, if it's half your head, that's too much, right? If it's a quarter of your head, that's too much. So I don't know. There's just so many gray areas in that. I don't understand it. That doesn't make it wrong, but I don't understand it. I don't even dye my hair now to get rid of the gray, and that seems more plausible.
It has to be assessed person per person. I don't think you can make a general statement about everybody, saying, well, it's everything's like that, because it changes from person to person. And some people, I mean, they're just out there in left field, and you just have to deal with it. Other people, I just want a little bit of a change, so you never know. But it's like it's hard for me to make a rash decision about everybody under a blanket statement like that, because I've seen there's such a diversity here in LA. I see every aspect of it all the time.
Yeah, I don't, I'm not surrounded by, I mean, I've lived in those areas, obviously, but in my current situation, not a lot of diversity in Lake Havasu,
No,
Arizona.
they come to see you, but
It's,
they don't stay there.
I'll tell you what, it's a shit ton of retired LA cops and firemen, for
Really?
one. Finally get to enjoy their life, right? After fucking eating shit for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, um, but yeah, anyway, um, Trump.
Okay.
Oh, should we even talk about it?
Well,
God, I
this
was
is
going to
I
skip
do
over
have
this.
something to say
God
about the
damn it.
Trump situation. It's like my dad's widow, she lives in something called Kendall. And Kendall is a retirement home. It's a well-to-do retirement home, and most of the people there are like retired opera singers or musicians, or it's a very artsy fartsy place, and it's right next to it's Oberlin College is right there next to it. But she told me, she said, "You know what? She says, I don't care how you voted or who you voted for, but Trump has dementia." And I said, "Why do you say that?" She says, "Because I live in dementia world." And the thing is that the fly off the handle attitude, the cussing that it's not necessary, the hyperbole of things, all this is characteristics of somebody who is getting dementia, who's seriously becoming demented. And at the same time, catering everything to cover up some situations that may make him look very unsavory. So I'm not,
Right.
I don't, it's like, well, it's tough because it's the cream of the crap. I mean, I can imagine what kind of shitty shape our country be in if Kamala Harris were the president right now. It'd be one big party in the White
Oh,
House. I'm sorry.
that's a whole no, that's a whole separate topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, I think
Here's
that I just don't,
here's the way here. Oh, go ahead.
no, I haven't, it doesn't matter who I voted for. Both of them were crappy candidates. It was the cream of the crap is who I saw could win the race. But at the same time, as my dad in the '80s, gave me a book and said, "Read this book and tell me what you think." It was called "Art of the Deal" by Donald Trump. And he says, "What do you think?" I said, "I think his father was a genius, and I think he's an idiot." And it's like this is the days in the '80s when they were buying the concrete from all the companies, all the mafia had a ring stranglehold on the unions, and you had to do business with them or you didn't get concrete poured in your city. And I know he was a part of that. He just had to been. If you're building a bunch of stuff in New York, that's happening to you also. I just don't think he's got you and me in mind, and that's the thing that bothers me. He's not thinking about our situation. It's like, hey, gas, I don't know where it costs where you're at, but I'm at $6.25 a gallon, and that's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. So it's like,
Well, then I will take the most likely unpopular stance and say that, well, first of all, with the gas, you're going to pay more in California. Most of that is state tax,
yeah,
but it is correct. The gas is up. I buy expensive gas anyway, so it's hard for me to say, but it's up a buck or so, or $1.50. Has gone up and down. It happens. Um, I think I don't. I don't think I started to worry for a little bit recently. I started thinking, well, what's going on? What's the plan? And then I had to reel myself in. I had to think about past history of what I've seen of him and how he likes to just put things out there, right? He puts things out there for reaction. I say it all the time. Like when he said, "Oh, I think I want to run for a third term," I knew in like 2 seconds he would. He just says shit because he loves to fuck with people, right?
right.
But more importantly, then I started thinking, no, he wants to see what the reaction is. And we've seen it recently, like when he was going to Iran. Oh, I give you 12 hours, you 24 hours. I give you 12 hours. I'm going to take out all your water and grids and blah, blah, blah. And what did Iran do? They surrounded all those with humans. And I don't care what anybody fucking says, okay? There is no way those people all fucking volunteered. These weren't just like soldiers. These were like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
So it's like he made them show what fucking pussies they are, that they would put humans around the infrastructure to protect it.
Well,
And he
didn't
he did that. So I'm thinking, then it's starting to come together. I'm like, No. When he says these things, he knows exactly what he's trying to fish out. And this whole thing that's happening now with the oil, you don't. If anyone doesn't think that that was all part of the plan, this political dominance of that oil, if anybody thinks that they didn't think or he didn't think for a second that they were going to block that strait so that the commerce oil couldn't come through, which causes us, to the gas price, right?
Right.
You don't think they thought about, come on. Even him, even if he was a derelict, he's got pretty smart people around him, but I don't think he is. I think he says shit to get a reaction, but I think he always has a plan. He always seems to be 3 or 4 steps ahead of these situations, just like he is now. He turned that whole strait into American powerhouse play.
Yeah, but see, the problem that I have with all this is our politicians in general. That both sides hate each other so much that they don't give a shit about us. We are the collateral damage to all this stuff happening. It's like, well, we're just going to shut the government down. Fuck you guys. I'm sorry, but that's a wrong idea to have, and you have to consider the people that are involved in this. And both sides want to win so bad. We are the what is being used to for those victories. And so I think it's completely wrong. I don't know what happened where politics went from reaching across the aisle trying to find a decision that we can work together. Right about 2020, people started unfriending me. That's one of the reasons I stopped going on Facebook. It's like because something I said, you don't like me anymore. I'm like, what is that about, man? It's like you didn't like me to begin with.
My brother hasn't talked to me since a year ago, January 21st. So it happens even closer to home.
Yeah, I think it's just a bunch of crap. I mean, it's like I don't think that if you and I differ completely on our views, we shouldn't have to we shouldn't fight about that. We should just agree to
Right.
disagree. That's just the way it is
Right.
sometimes, you know?
But the problem is people listen to certain avenues where, and like I said, I don't study all these topics that we're talking about. I see the topic, I have an opinion on it, right? I could be completely wrong. Maybe the guy's fucking batshit crazy. I just don't think so. I think he's smarter than Hassan. I think he works like a fucking horse. I mean, if the guy sleeps 4 hours a night, I'd be surprised. He's not a slouch president. Just as a president, I mean, the guy's fucking working. Even if you don't like what he's doing, he's working. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't want to be wrong because that wouldn't be good for the country. But I think the end game he has is to make America stronger. And I'm not trying to sound like some zealot. I just mean financially and not being taken advantage of much. You know as well as I do, America has funded so much shit around the world. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be blowing it on this war. That's a waste of money. I agree. But you know, making people accountable for themselves, like we always talk about, making children accountable, making people accountable, make people accountable for themselves. We can't, and the whole reason we're even involved is because we have allies that we support, and hopefully they support us. But like this whole UN thing, and remember the Greenpeace or the France Accord or whatever, all this money that we supply the most of, but yet we have tighter restrictions than most countries, right? They're
Right.
talking about Greenpeace. Go to India or fucking China. Better bring a mask,
Right.
right?
Right.
That shit's floating in the air.
Yeah.
We clean that up. You look at pictures of LA from the 50s and 60s to now, it's fucking cleaner now, way cleaner.
Yeah, it is. When I first moved to LA, it was 80, 86, excuse me, 84, right before the Olympics happened. I moved here in January and I ran, 5 to 10 miles a day and I'm out there running and my lungs were burning so badly. And I got home and I'm like, I was telling Tori, I said, I cannot believe how much I'm hurt. She goes, why were you outdoors running? She goes, it's a stage 2 smog alert. I mean, what does that mean? Shit means you're not supposed to be out there running. I'm like, what
Right.
kind of country do I live in where I can't run because it's too smoggy?
Yeah,
It's like,
you might as well have been skateboarding directly behind a beat up old Ford truck next to the muffler.
might as well move to Mexico City. It's how bad it is there,
Right.
But yeah,
Well, I'll tell you this though, even though it's cleaner, when I leave here, and have to go to LA for that first 12 hours or so, I definitely feel it.
Yeah.
The eyes are burning, it's just gradual, and I get the sore throat for like a couple hours, and then all of a sudden, like fish with gills, you get used to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But it takes a while. So, well, anyway, man, I love the show. I love talking to you. You don't mind if I mention our sponsor, do you?
not
Western
at all.
States Restaurant
Love
Consulting
them, man.
sponsors the show, and how's the saying go, Joe? Do you still remember it? Uh,
Tony
your
has for
vision.
Tony has forgotten more about restaurant work than I'll ever know.
No, no, no. As much as I love that, it's the slogan for Western States. Your vision is our success.
Ooh,
But
that's
but
good.
but I'll say that I love yours more. And Joe, I have the card left over from last week, which means I must have seen some things that looked interesting. So I'm not even going to let you pick a number this time. Curveball,
Okay.
swing and a miss.
Hit me with whatever.
What's your definition of success? What's your definition of success?
Wow. Well, I think it's hard to encompass that into one sentence, but I think you would have to include the fact that my children respect me, my wife loves me, and consciously I'm doing what I consider to be the right thing at all times. That's success. I mean, to me, that is. I mean, right now, success is booking some serious, job. I want to get a national account on, on the voiceover. That would be success for me right now. But
Right.
I think it's being. Well, my grandfather used to have an expression. He'd say, "I don't go to bed with a whore, and I don't wake up with a whore. That's how I live with myself." And I think that that's a good thing to think about. I don't want to. I don't want
Right.
to. I want to make sure that the things I do are respectful, and then what I do in the dark, I can turn the lights on. I'm not going to be ashamed of it.
Right. No, I mean, you can't be wrong. And like you said, there's a multitude of answers for that because there's so many arteries that spread off of that topic,
Right.
work and family and this and that. So I totally agree. I think we both know as a society, a lot of what you have marks your level of success. And I know that I don't have that type of financial success. Do, do I begrudge people that do? Absolutely not. Good for you. I made different decisions. I went different directions. So to me, if I'm healthy, if I'm happy, if my kids are healthy, uh, I make enough to have a nice dinner and a cold beer. I work, 84 hours a week. So I just want to be able to relax and enjoy the small pleasures of life. And I'm food driven just from the
Yeah.
business. And to me, that's a good day.
Well, how
That's a
about
good day.
this? Being successful is being the person my dog thinks I am.
Yeah. So shit, we're all fucking Elon Musk.
Okay, for you, let me see what I got for you here. I've got some interesting things, not the normal things. Have you ever tried to live off the grid, even for a few days?
No, but I've thought about it in the sense that it would probably be a healthy thing to do. I know you do that in a small sense already. You sort of go and tune out, but I have thought many times about how I could live in a commune, which is sort of off the grid, because and everybody has their thing to do, right? And I'm not going to be fixing the tractor and shit like that because I'm not going to be building shit, but I'll be doing the shopping and I'll be cooking up fucking dinner and lunch and breakfast and cleaning, and I'd be happy as fuck. That's my response. I'd have some help, but yeah, I could totally live in a commune, and I'll make sure everybody eats. I'll take care of that. What are you guys going to do? You figure it out. I got to hit the store.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that bought the 3 month supply of Patriot, food, although the and stuff, and I've got the water purifying system. I just got to get a generator this year. I'm going to be ready for
Right.
crap that happens, but
I have most of that. Do you have the straw?
yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's a good one
Yeah,
to have.
that's a good one to have. I have that.
Yeah.
I have a solar cooker. I actually, here's the funny thing, because I wouldn't know the first fucking thing to do, but I have a cage trap so that I can catch a rabbit.
Ooh.
Because I'm gonna skin the rabbit and cook it, right? Like, could you? I mean, I'm
Yeah, I
laughing
could.
because I know I can't, but
No,
you
that's good.
probably
In
could.
fact, rabbits are really easy to skin. All you got to do is you
Really?
cut around their neck, and all the fur just rips right
Oh,
off.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
pretty simple.
I
But
don't know if I could do it. Damn.
well, I see. I have when I was a kid. It's like you'd go in and we'd play survival. We'd go out in the woods for the weekend, and we'd take some matches and our BB guns, and
Survival.
we did. It's like before they had the game survival, we'd go out there and we'd make a little hut and we'd
And
make a
and
fire.
this goes exactly back to how you said we got the fuck out of the house and we figured it out all day.
We did.
Because for one, if you didn't leave the house, you were sweeping the garage and doing chores all fucking day.
Right.
And my dad, when you mowed the lawn, I don't know, but my dad, you had to have the diamonds. You know what I mean? You had to go
Oh
across
yeah,
one way and the other. I'm
diagonals.
like, Jesus Christ! I don't even see landscapers now do that. It's like,
Well, I was aiming like that because that my first business, the first job I ever had was a business. Well, I did other things, but the first business I ever had was a lawn mowing service, and that was, I mean, I made
yeah,
a lot of money doing that because I like to
right,
around once and then do the diagonals and come back and it's all
right.
beautiful and stuff. So I got paid for those marks. Yeah, that's
And once in a while, I do the crop circle.
uh,
Where you end up in the middle, but then you got to carry the lawnmower over to the edge
so you don't mess anything up.
or turn it on.
That's funny.
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
Oh, I wish I could write it down so you know I'm not lying, but okay, I'm gonna think of one. Okay. What's a memory that always makes you smile? And you know what? I need to make that. I need to reclassify that. What's the best memory that makes you smile? So not only does it make you smile, but it's like if there's such a thing as a favorite memory,
Yeah, I
or
do. I do.
what is it?
Well, it's like I had this gambler's gut, and I knew I was going to have a daughter with Dee Dee. I knew it was a daughter, and she's like, "You don't know it's a girl." I go, "I know it's a girl." And every day I would go talk to Miranda, and Dee Dee's Hispanic, so they have this big thing where they rub olive oil on their areas that would have stretch marks, so they won't get stretch marks. And I don't think that woman has a stretch mark. I mean, I haven't looked at her in years, but I would talk to Miranda every day. Now, when she was born, I went in there and helped her with the birth. They went into the next room. I got to cut the cord, and then they do all this stuff where they clear the eyes and they do all this stuff, and then they lance the heel to take some blood. Now, a baby at that age, it's like seeing in the dark underwater. It's that blurry; they can't see. So when you lanced Miranda's heel, she sucked in air and screamed without making a sound, and just went crazy crying. And I just looked down. I go, "Honey, it's okay." And she stopped and she's like looking around. She recognized my voice from talking to my ex-wife's stomach every day.
No way.
I put my finger down like this, and my little girl wrapped her hand around my finger, and that's one of the crowning memories of my life. She just loved me so much that she wrapped her hands around me and felt secure that her daddy was that voice that she heard for months when she was inside the womb. She heard my voice. She was looking around like, I know that voice. Grabbed my finger, and that's the best memory I've ever had. That's it, man. It was like wonderful.
So if I would have and could have and proven that I wrote it down, so you'll have to pinky trust me. But I guess that it was the birth of your daughter.
Yeah. So
I fucking know you.
it's man, dude, I went and got the day paper that from the Daily Sun down from Palm Springs where she was
Right.
born at Desert Hospital. I took the smock that I took her feet and went the footprints all the way up on on the smock for Desert Hospital. I put that with a picture of her birth in a shadow box and gave it to her for her 21st birthday. So
Right.
that's the highlight. That was it. Okay, so I got one more question for you. Um, Do you have any strange stories that you believe are true but can't explain them? Any strange stories?
Yeah. So I have one. And I don't know if it ties back to when my mother, because my mother, when she was dying, she wanted to go back to Michigan. She wanted to be buried next to her mom and dad.
Right.
And she fought cancer for 10 years. The only reason she lived 10 years was because she hooked up with a doctor from UCLA, and they sort of had her sign up for a experimental chemo. So the whole time she was taking all this, experimental chemo, doing well, still working, blah, 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 going to her groups. And then, about 10 years into it or whatever, there isn't any more tests. And like within 2 weeks, she goes from working to a wheelchair to, hey, it's time to fly her back home, right? So we go to my brother's, we're all having dinner, and then we're saying goodbye. I'm saying goodbye to my mother, knowing I'm not going to see her, know she's flying home to die, right? And I think I went back in the house like 3, 4 times. Like I'd say goodbye, and I'm just fucking bawling like a little bitch. And I'd go out to the car, and then I'd get in the car, and then I'd go back in and say goodbye. And then she whispered in my ear. She could barely talk at this point. She whispered in my ear, "Oh shit! I shouldn't even say this. My siblings might be listening, but it doesn't matter. It's not a bad thing." She said, "You're the only one I don't worry about." So I knew, even they all talk about, angels and relationship like that. I just knew that she knew either that the Lord was going to watch out for me, like she knew that I was protected, right? And it's happened in my life, the whole one door closes, another opens. You wouldn't believe how that has happened continuous with me.
Nice.
I've never really been in a bad situation.
Wow.
And I give credit to that, to the Lord and my mother's belief in relationship. And then I think, maybe just from knowing me, just because I was sort of different, who knows, but she made that comment. So I always knew that she sort of be watching out. So one night I was closing the restaurant, and I think it was like the Elephant Bar in La Mirada. So I had to take the 91 all the way home to fucking Corona. And I'm driving home. I'm going down the 91. I'm going through Anaheim Hills. Oh, well, let me get back. So before I leave, I used to smoke back then. So I'm out on the back dock having a smoke, right, by myself, not talking with anybody. And I'm out by the dumpster and I'm looking down the alley. I'm having a smoke. And this black cat walks across the alley slowly and just sort of looking at me. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. Anyway, gotta fucking go, so I want to go. So I leave. And there was a warning in my mind, as crazy as it may sound. I'm driving down the 91, I'm going home, and there's this car that has stopped in the middle of the road. It was in an accident, but it was in the center lane, and no one had their lights on anymore.
Oh man.
And I'm coming up, and so 2 lanes are blocked. There's one car still sitting in the other side. And at the last second I saw it and there was no one on my side, and I was able to like slow down enough to go around it, like barely, because I was doing like 75, 80. And I'm like, the cat was a warning to keep an eye out. And at the same time, that's almost sacrilegious. I know we're going way over, but these are the battles you have when you believe. It's like I went to a tarot reader when I was younger with a friend, and we were just drunk, Newport Beach, right? Oh, let's go get our palms read. And the girl tells me, she goes, "You're going to fall in love with someone from the East." And so I'm always thinking like, Denver, Pittsburgh. I mean, right? So I equate it, and I'm like, oh, you can't believe in that shit. First of all, it's sacrilegious, and it's fucking witchcraft, and it's bullshit. There's only one person that controls our destiny, and it's not us. And but then I met Twee, and I fell in love. The girl from the East. And it's hard to say that's. How would that person just fucking say that 40 years ago?
Well,
35 years ago.
Susie Fox.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Susie Fox came to work one night, and her entire right side of her face was relaxed, completely relaxed, just like this. Complete.
Really?
She had a stroke, and it was completely relaxed. And there's over 200 people in the restaurant saw this. And she said, I said, what, how does it affect you? She goes, well, everything on that side of my mouth tastes like metal. I don't have any taste of that at all. I can't smell out of this nostril. Everything had just completely died. 2 weeks later, it might even be less than that. She came to work. Nothing was wrong. And we're like, what the deal? And she said, you know what? I was giving up. And there was a Bible sitting on the table. I opened the Bible, started reading, and boom, I was healed instantly. And it's like some said, well, that didn't happen. Well, over 200 people witnessed it, so it did happen. I mean, she's come back away from that. She's a little bit relaxed now, but I mean, she was so bad that it was like this. It was really bad. So it's like that. That's something that can't be explained except for for God. That's the only thing that could have done that. But
Okay, I had something happen to me once, and I'm not trying to top yours, but I know I'll forget to bring it up again, and then we'll
okay,
wrap up. I was playing a sport with somebody, and we were playing a game against, 2-on-2, and it was a court game, and I turned wrong, and I fell, and I twisted my ankle, and I knew instantly, right? I could feel it, and the person came over. I couldn't even get up. It was still turned, and the person came over and they put their hands on it and they just started praying for like 5 minutes. Please, Lord, heal this ankle, blah, 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 blah. And I stood up and it was like it never fucking even happened.
I've heard of that a lot of times. I've seen things like that I can't explain. But yeah, it's like you were worthy, my friend. You were worthy.
Crazy.
It is. It's like, well, like I tell people sometimes, they somebody told me. So I heard this theory that Mary Magdalene she was impregnated, or Mary, the mother of Jesus, was impregnated by an alien. I'm like, so that's easier to believe than God had still
Right.
created that birth itself. I mean, people will believe just about anything, but
And I
hey,
was just thinking, wouldn't it be funny if that person was actually an alien and they just happened to have the power to heal?
hey, you never know. You never know. It's like
We actually never really do we?
we don't. We don't. We just have to take it for face
Do you
value.
believe we live in a matrix? Do you believe that this is not reality, that this is played out already? Is that even possible?
I don't believe in the Matrix theory, so to speak, but I do believe that I believe in alternate universes. I believe that God multitasks. That's what I believe. I mean, I believe in aliens. It does just people go, how can you believe in aliens if you're a Christian? Well, one doesn't have anything to do with the other. I mean, my God chose me, and that's why I believe in him. Now, if he decides that
Right.
he's bored one day and creates an alien race somewhere, that's his business. He can do whatever he wants to. So I do believe that there are other things. I believe also a lot of what we're seeing now is alien reproduction vehicles, where we found stuff and we try to tinker with it. And that's why it's acting all erratic, because we don't know how to drive these things. So we're out there trying to make some sense of it. That's what I believe is happening. We've taken this and reversed engineered these things to see how they work, and we're able to do it. I think that's the way some of the technology. Also, we got microwaves in the 60s. How did, I mean, how did that
Dude,
happen?
I just
70s.
had this conversation with someone like 2 days ago. They're like, "Oh, these people believe in aliens, blah blah blah." I'm like, yeah, because
Yeah.
we have their information." They're like, "Well, no, I didn't hear." I'm like, "I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about in sometime in the late 40s, early 50s, or whatever.
Yeah.
We all of a sudden, technology wise, leaps and bounds in like years. I mean, if you just go from like 52 to 62, the difference
Exactly.
with computers and shit like that, even though they took up a whole fucking room, it doesn't matter. The information was provided. We just had to learn how to duplicate. Like you said, they back built. I'd heard a radio show one time, and again, who knows if it's bullshit, but the guy worked at Area 51 or whatever it is, and he explained how the system worked. They would always have, so let's say they have the craft. They would only take one component from the craft, and they would give it to a team of two people to work on, whatever your specialty was. and they gave it to the two people so that they could cross check each other. But it was super tight surveillance that like bugged their homes and all this shit. Schedule changed every single day. There was no pattern, and they were never able to. They all they did is they gave their information to one person, and that's it. And then that person took it to another person. So they had this layer, he says, built up until only certain people at the very top were able to have everybody's information together in order to, sort of recreate this device,
Right.
like the whole hovering thing and stuff. So that was his take. And then after about, I don't know, a year and a half, something happened and he ended up getting out of it or whatever. But he said it was pretty crazy.
Well, there's something that like there's a story about the Indians down in the West Indies. They kept seeing these ripples in the water. They didn't know what it was, and they brought the shaman out there to take. So what is causing this? And he studied and studied and studied, and he drew. He's like, oh, okay. He drew a picture of a clipper ship in the sand. He goes, that's what I'm seeing. And they looked down. They go, oh, now they saw it. They had a frame of reference. I think that sometimes we see things and we blink and go, what is that? Well, we don't have a frame of reference for that, so we didn't actually see it, or did we see it? I think we see a lot more than we give ourselves credit for, but we just don't have something to gauge it against, so we don't know what we saw. So it's better to say, I don't know. I mean, I was walking with a bunch of people, walking my daughter, and this was like 100 degrees at 9 o'clock down in Palm Desert, Palm Springs. And we're walking around this park, and we saw like 9 lights change different colors in the spectrum of the rainbow as they're coming in, which could have obviously been, meteors coming into the atmosphere. But everybody looked at each other and go, did you see that? Yeah, because no one's going to believe us that we saw that.
Everybody wanted a little backup.
See it. Like if you look it up, there's a famous one that happened down in Phoenix where probably a couple hundred people saw the same thing. It's kind of hard to argue that kind of stuff. But hey, I think that knowing that, well, if the nearest star to us is the sun, now if you put a sun the size of an orange in Central Park, the nearest star would be in downtown Chicago, the size of an orange. That's how vast it is. It's so long that there's 93 million miles from here to the sun. We call that an astronomical unit because things are so far away. That's 5 astronomical units. That's 5 times 93 million. So that's how they gauge things. For us to think that with what they're finding out there, the number of stars and the number of possible planets there, we'd have to be infinitesimally stupid to think that we're the only people out there. There can be nobody else. That's just stupid thinking. Of course there's something else out there. Of course there's life. It's just like if you look at Titan, is one of the moons of Saturn. Is it Saturn? Yeah, one of the moons, and it has methane everything. So their basis of there could be a methane-based life form there that lives off the methane it breathes in. So it may be different parameters. Yeah, you never know but they have liquid there. They found ice on Europa, so that where there's water, there's probably life of some kind.
Do you believe that we have lizard people?
No, I don't believe in stuff like that. I don't believe that, funky looking stuff like that. I don't. I think that they would be more apt to look like us so they could fit in. I mean, and then one of my favorite movies.
No, I mean they're lizards, but they have a human appearance, but their inside is another component.
Well, I believe, yeah, that's how they. I believe if there's aliens walking among us, that they are doing it looking like us. I believe that, yeah, it'd be kind of hard not to do something like that. But I don't.
And wouldn't an alien easily be able to be in a position of power because they're so much smarter than us in the sense that they look at the shit we're doing and it's like, it's like walking past a worm and thinking, oh, I wonder what the worm's thinking. Right? Like they're bored with our shit.
Well, I'm big into science fiction. So one of my favorite book of all times is 2001: Space Odyssey. In fact, my wife got me an original copy of that. That
really?
Was from a first edition printing. But the idea that our world was dying and they were right next to a food source, but they weren't smart enough to do that. So the aliens go, look, we got to put something down there to give them some skills. So they kind of helped us along. And I believe that happened. I believe that's like, look, these people are idiots. Let's kind of get them going. I want some things to happen here. Who knows what they were working towards. But I like that,
Right.
like Prometheus. I think Prometheus. That's great. Ideas. I love those kinds of science fiction
Oh,
stuff. Yeah, I'm a
I,
crazy.
I I wish I could look it up and play it real quick, so I'm going to have to paraphrase, so it won't be as funny. But you probably already have heard it. If not, look it up. It's Sam Kinison talking about when he worked, uh, like Army or Peace Corps or something like this. He was telling a joke, right? And he's like, "Oh, we would load up the jeeps with all this food and blah blah blah, and we would drive out to the middle of the desert. And we would give these people food and blah blah." And he goes, after a while, he's like, "I got an idea. Why don't we go out with some fucking U-Hauls
And move
and
away
move
from the
these?"
sand because nothing grows in the sand. It's like it's so perfect.
And then he goes, "We have deserts in America. We
We just
just
don't
don't
live in
live in
them.
them." But it's so funny because we do. I mean, look at Palm Springs.
Yeah,
Look
this
where
is
I
true.
live in a desert, right?
This is true.
I'm at 700 sea level or whatever.
That's funny.
But it's, we just don't live in them. And I'm like, oh, I do.
Oh man, he was the best. Loved Sam Kennison. He was funny.
Yeah, amazing. Such a fucking druggie. And then killed by a drunk driver after he turned sober. And and again, and he was a religious guy, right? I mean, he was
Yeah,
a pastor. He knew his shit.
yeah.
You weren't gonna outscript him on the Bible, right?
Right, right.
So what a story. I mean, you would think that someone that went through that, their sheer belief, and I can see why people who don't believe get so fucked up. You would think that his sheer belief, and then he turns his life around, would have been rewarded. And instead, ironically, he gets hit by a drunk driver, a guy that probably drove drunk or fucked up 10,000 times, right?
Well, but see, look how old you are, and I'm just a couple of years older than that. You were born in 63. I was born in 63.
62.
All right, so you're a year younger than me. Um, I mean, I tell my kids, I said, you don't take me for granted, because 2 days ago I was 17. Yesterday I was 35. Tomorrow I'm dead. I mean, that's how fast life goes by. I'll be 65 in 2 months. Holy crap. Where did that come from? 65. That's almost dead. So it's like the thing with if you're a Christian, it's not that big of a deal because it's like this is one small step going to somewhere else, and that's I choose to believe that, and it gives me peace with with my life. But I mean, I just don't. I mean, I was kind of praying, God, you can take me now during pandemic because I want a good body again. I'm tired of being broken. So I
Right,
mean, I'm not going to step into the moving traffic or anything, but I'm not afraid of dying because I do believe in heaven.
right.
I do believe in that. So that's just one of those benefits.
I'm in the same boat as you, buddy. And I believe that it's already happened. You can think about it all you want, but you don't know, you'll never know, but it's already been predetermined.
Yeah, I
And
believe that. I believe in that also, my friend. I
that's
really
why
do.
sometimes terrible things happen to people and it's just not their time.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you've seen it. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, some people, they get in these car accidents. The car is completely mangled. It looks like it went through a compactor. And, oh, yeah, the person got out without a scratch and lived. And it's like, and then someone else like trips on a fucking banana and dies.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's like, so there's no rhyme or reason, anything. When it's your time, it's your time. It's already been determined. You'll just never know.
Well, there's a saying that I don't use it with people who aren't believers because they just think it's cheesy, but it's like, look, I'm a piece of clay. God made me. He can do whatever he wants to with me. If he decides he wants to take me out to make something better for a whole lot of a whole lot of people, I don't have a problem with that because I'm just clay and he's the potter. If he wants to make a nice vessel out of me
Well,
or a common plate, do what you want to do. So,
what that scientist, the what's his name, the black gentleman. I
oh,
hate to reference him that way, but
Andrew Dice. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
yeah, he had mentioned he came up with the probability of even being born on Earth, and it was like one in some huge billion number. Might even have been trillions. He said it's inconceivable if you think of all the eggs and sperm that didn't connect,
Right.
and then of course the ones that did and nothing happened, whatever, all the way down the chain. that it's beyond a human miracle that you even exist.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Crazy.
Well, I had some Johnny Weissmuller sperm. That's all. That's what happened. That's going to happen. So, well,
okay, buddy.
well, we've enjoyed our time today. We've enjoyed our time today. So let's just kind of end it off with a little music.
Yeah, I'm going to name this show "We Went Into OT" because
Went
we
into
did.
OT. Because
sorry, we had to bore you for another 20 minutes. Even if you stuck it out this far, which I commend you. We stuck you with another 20.
Well, we thank you for joining us today. We look forward to talking to you again, and enjoy our show. Tell your friends about our show. Maybe they'll be bored too. And you guys can have something to talk about. You can say, I want to get on your show so I can rebuke some of the things that you're saying. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. You guys have something in common. Man, did you hear that shit?
Yeah, well, from Long Beach, we're going to wish you a nice evening. And Lake Havasu,
right,
good talking to you, brother. Take care, man. Bye-bye now.
Adios.